see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Absolutely. We're pointing at them. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on.
Hello, and thank you again for joining us on the Be About It podcast. We had some technical difficulties. This is kind of thrown together last minute because I couldn't get the cameras to work and function, so here we are. I'm kind of winging this and getting it all together. But, big news, massive news. Everybody has already heard about the attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump, which will probably lead to future President Donald Trump, but who's to say one way or another at the moment? I have my opinions. Everybody else has theirs. We're going to go into a few of those, but let's talk about what we know so far and everything that's gone into this. One, Trump was shot in the ear, busted an eardrum, whizzed by. There's some photos out there saying caught the bullet. I've seen them. They look pretty accurate. They've been looked at by forensics. They seem legit. They seem like they can hold some water. But it didn't. If he hadn't turned at the last minute, I mean, literally last second, in a game of millimeters and seconds, Trump came out a victor on this. Because if he had not have turned, it would have ended his life. It was a headshot. He had him. That last second turn is what saved his life. And the shooter has been identified by, and everybody knows it's Thomas Matthew Crooks. This is kind of a, I'm kind of leaning both ways on this. Not that I'm unhappy that President Trump survived. No, I'm extremely ecstatic about that. I am more on board than I've ever been because of how he took it, how he reacted, and how his immediate stance on that. As photos can definitely see all over the place, a lot of people saw how he reacted, and it immediately was like, that's my president. That's who I'm voting for. And they were undecided, or they weren't even planning on voting, but he demonstrated the qualities of a leader. He didn't stay down. He camped back up, put the fist in the air, blood running down his face. Everybody's seen the photos, so we know it. But the shooter, Thomas, is a 20-year-old dietary aide for Bethel Park Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation. So he works in a nursing home and kind of helps out things like that. He is also, now this has been thrown around very loosely. He's a registered Republican. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm just saying that there is sides on every single way, so I'm not going to lean one way or another on that one just yet. But he was one thing we did know. Now, I want to also take a second and think about this. He is a 20-year-old. Now, your average assassin, things like that, has been around the world, usually had some military training, went and fought a war or something like that. This kid, and I will say that a lot, but talking about him, this kid, we're not talking about a grown man or a grown individual. We're talking about a kid, 20 years old. I remember at 20 years old, I did not have jack figured out. I was just trying to survive. But this kid had been pushed, influenced, and made to where this felt his only option was what he had to do. Now, that in itself should tell you something. That means, in my opinion, society has failed this boy. Failed him in a big way because he is 20. He hasn't even lived yet. He's had, now the videos have come out. He was a little bit of bullied in school. Most people were saying very quiet, not a lot of friends. Doesn't have a lot of social network. Doesn't do social things on things like that. He doesn't do much. He's very quiet, kept to himself. He had no arrest, no violent history. That is the more baffling and worrisome part of this that nobody is even pointing out or even talking about. how much society has failed that boy. Because maybe if we would have saw things that he was showing us or showing the people around him, maybe it wouldn't have led to where it led, to where he felt he had to do that. Maybe he wanted to be famous. Maybe he was influenced by outside people. Maybe he was, if you believe the conspiracy theorist, a fall guy. I highly doubt that one, though. This is pretty cut and dry. He actually had a vehicle on site with more explosives. This wasn't where he was ending with just a shot. This was where he was beginning. Who knows how far it would have went had Secret Service, which I will get to them in a moment, waited any longer to do what they were trained to do and supposed to do. But again, that boy could have been turned a different direction. It takes one bad day to go down that road, and in all honesty, I feel sorry for him. I feel regret that this society filled with hateful protest, hate messages all over the place, bullying, cyberbullying, that could not let this boy, and you think about it like this, there's only he one. How many more are out there that are just one bad day away from making that decision? So I think this needs to be a wake-up call, an eye-opener. This needs to let everybody know what your actions of just bullying, cyberbullying, or however you're doing it can influence an individual. Who said that he could not have been turned to the right path had not just had one very good day? But as I was saying, he was a member of the Clareton Sportsman Club, which features a 200-yard rifle range. So he was training for this. This was something he had planned. He had the rifle, which people think that's what his father bought for him. Don't know how that is going. There's investigation is ongoing. I'm sure tons of info will come out in the next coming week. But so he had the rifle. He was learning to shoot with it. And what turned him from a quiet boy that kept himself to someone who wants to kill the president, former President Trump? And just a few months prior, he graduated with an associate's degree in engineering science. He was educated. He was being educated. But I really want to know where the motive is. The motive has not been found yet. They're still trying to figure out. They're trying to crack his phone to go through social media. They're trying to do all this. They have not found a motive. They haven't found his list of things why he felt he had to do this. So I don't know where we're going to go with this. And I want to know what turned this boy into an assassin. So, but the shots were fired from around 150 yards. 150 yards. That is it. So you have the map right here showing a direct line of sight. Now, I don't know how well trained the Secret Service agents that were there on that day, but that should have been like a number one priority since it was a clean line of sight, straight to it. Don't know how else you can feed. It was around 140, 150 yards. So this kid has been practicing on a 200-yard rifle range. And then he comes and all he's got to hit is 150 yards. We as Americans are so lucky that this didn't go the other way. Now, I know there was a lot of people going unhappy because he survived, because the shooter missed. And to y'all people, I'm going to say very clearly, in my opinion, y'all can suck it. Y'all can kiss my ass. Because this was bigger than one man's life. This was a former president of the United States. This is a could be soon president of the United States. You wanted him to die Think about what message that sends to the rest of the world. That is embarrassing how many people, to be honest, were upset that that shooter missed. It's embarrassing as on my side in general, because I would be embarrassed, or I'd feel loss and anger towards losing a president, losing a leader of this country, whether I liked him or not. If Biden was assassinated tomorrow, I would regret it. And am I a Biden supporter? No, I am not. But he is our president. Hear what I said there? Our president. If you are American, if you live in this country, whether you like him or not, he is our president. He may do a shitty job, but damn it, he is our president. Donald Trump will be the president next. And I hope that we show him a little bit more respect in the future than we have shown him right now. I am not a Biden supporter. I've never been a Biden supporter. And I have never hid that fact. But I never wished ill will towards him. I never wished a bullet with his name on it. And I never will. No president under these United States will I ever wish that for. Because he is our leader. Or she in the near future. Never know. Let's go both ways. But that's where we need to change our attitude. Change how we're thinking. Come together as people. As Americans. If you're not happy with the president, but you're happy living in America, then you are happy as an American. Show a little respect for it. You can show distaste and anger or dislike for the president. That's why we vote. And it is your God-given American right to vote for who you choose. Like I hear a lot of people online bashing Jack Black because he came out for Kamala and Joe Biden. Why? That is his right. Jack, I support you. Do what you do. That is your president. That is who you want to vote for. I'm glad you have found your president. It's not who I'm voting for, but I am glad that you have that right. Do what you do. It is a free country. Thank you very much. Now, I got off topic. And something we have kind of missed that the shooter did not. That the boy did not miss. There was a man killed at the rally. Corey Campentori, I think. I might be mispronouncing his name, and I apologize. He was a 50-year-old firefighter, father of 2 daughters, and died at the scene. Not many people are talking about that, and so I want to take a moment to talk about it. This is a man that came to support his presidential candidate, or maybe hear him talk. Maybe he was unswayed. He didn't know which way he was voting, and this was one thing that he just wanted to do. He was a firefighter that was just there, an innocent civilian that was hit with a shot and died because this person didn't like what Donald Trump was saying, because didn't want him to be president. So a man had to lose his life, a father. A firefighter. Who knows how many lives are not going to be saved because he is not there to save them as a firefighter. He was a civil servant. And from the bottom of my heart, my deepest condolences to his family. I hope in this troubling time you can get by and see any good that can come out of this, which there won't be any. But I hope and pray for that family. So, on that note, I'm going to go straight to former President Barack Obama. He had some things to say on that day. He actually called on Americans to, I quote, use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. I am going to stop him right there. There has not been civility and respect in politics for decades. And if you disagree with that, I'm sorry, you haven't been paying much attention. I see politicians fighting. I see politicians arguing. But I don't see politicians doing what's best for the country. I don't see them pushing that extra mile. What do they need to do? They need to come together. So no, politics has not been civility. It hasn't been civil. All it is a bashing. Now, Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky said, tonight all Americans are grateful that President Trump appears to be fine after a despicable attack on a peaceful rally. Now, keep in mind, all of this has come before President Biden got on. Now, eventually, Biden did get on. National TV expressed gratitude that Mr. Trump had been swiftly evacuated and said, "There's no place in America for this kind of violence." You know, I'm going to point out some things right now that violence is encouraged by some members of that party. When you're talking about going and stopping a member of a certain party just for being a certain member of a party, by harassing just because. You know, that's what made this country so great, is we could all have opinions. We can discuss them, and we can still, at the end of the day, share a meal with respect. I work with a gentleman, and my day-to-day job, the one that pays the bills, that allows me to do all this fun stuff. I work with a gentleman, and he is completely different from my point of view. And there is a large age gap, not going to lie. And me and him could have a civil talk. And he knows where I stand. I haven't hidden it. I know where he stands. He hasn't hidden it. But at the end of the day, we still work together. We joke around and we have a good day. Even though we have a discussion over things that we disagree about, at the end of the day, that's all it was. That's all it needed to be, is a discussion. And it needed to stop there. It wasn't anger. I may disagree with him, but that's fine. He may disagree with a lot of things I have to say, and that's fine too. But we respect each other, and we show respect. That's how we get through every single discussion we have. So I hope some people can take a cue from that. Now, let's get on to Secret Service. I don't know what was going through their minds, but that wasn't anything. I've seen Secret Service in the past. Now, granted, this is something that has not happened since 1981. A president has not been shot since 1981, Ronald Reagan, which he had some nice jokes shortly thereafter. If you want to give them a listen, here you go.
We're reminded of the many traditions of openness and democracy that have marked the history of this city. Missed me.
Man, God bless Ronald Reagan. Man, he just made it impossible not to like him. I mean, you can say what you want about his presidency, probably one of the better ones we've had the last 50 years, but man, he made it impossible not to like that guy. Joking about being shot just a few months prior, I was like a few years prior. I mean, it was great. But back to Secret Service. They were bumbling around. This was not something that was planned, or you see the snipers in the background. They say they were wanting to make the shot. You could see them. They had their eye on him before the shots were made, but they didn't get clearance to shoot. And then after the shot was fired, it took like 2 seconds. I mean, 2 or 3 seconds for them to get over there. I'm like, could have moved a little bit quicker. That's just me. I mean, should have been somebody around him up on the stage where they could have jumped on him within a second or so. That's just what I see. Then you got the lady Secret Service that had trouble putting her firearm back in her holster. Okay, there we go. That is always nice to see. I was like, can't get that back in. Okay, well, and then she just holds it like it's normal. All right, great. Good job. Sweet. But it was not. Now, I don't think it was entirely their fault. Like I was saying, this has not happened since 1981, 40 plus years. There's probably nobody in the Secret Service right now that was in the Secret Service when that happened. Now, the only thing we've come close is, George W. Yeah. George W. got a shoe thrown at him. That's the closest thing we've come to an assassination attempt since Ronald Reagan. Why or did we expect anything more of our Secret Service? Training is training, but there is a difference. I was like, presidents were getting taken shots at for a long time, but nobody has seen that in about 43 years. So they were probably as shocked as anybody else what was going on. But they eventually did react. They covered him. They got him going. Now, this is where you got to love the man. Instead of running off, he stops. He looks back towards the crowd, blood running down his face, puts his fist in the air, basically and essentially giving an FU to whatever just happened. And then the crowd goes crazy and roars. Now, to me, that was a sign of a leader. I have no other way to put that. He looked it in the eye, came out, and was like, yeah, I'm still going. I'm not stopping. We're doing this. Let's get ready to go again. And that's how it was. I mean, it was that simple. So you had him going that route. Then they get him off. Now, a couple days later, you see him going to play golf. Everybody's already seen the video. Yes, he was going to play golf. He could probably lose a little relaxation considering 48 hours earlier, he was almost killed. So, let's see. I could probably use a little relaxation myself, calm my nerves, because he had, for those of y'all who don't know, the Republican National Convention started today, Monday, and that he had to be there. He did announce he finally picked a VP candidate. That is J.D. Vance out of Ohio, senator candidate. So, younger man. I was surprised, actually. I did not see that coming. I felt he would have picked someone a little older, closer to his beliefs and age. But no, man, it's a younger looking man. I'm actually ecstatic about that part. I have been saying for a while, we need to get some young blood in the presidency. We need to get some 40s and 50s in there. Somebody that can stick around and after the presidency is over, go out and actually do some good. Like you look at President Obama. Now, say what you want about it. The man went in, his hair was black. The man left office, his hair was almost white. That is a stressful job. That's why we need a younger man. We need somebody who can take the steady, make good decisions, and all that good stuff. But like I was saying, this unhappy on both sides. There has been a lot of people backing and forth, people arguing, saying hateful things to each other just because of a candidate they like. Just because, especially all the young, mainly the videos I've seen where we're upset about the shooter missing, looked like they were in their early 20s. They were young. They didn't know what an assassination to a president would actually mean to this country. You look back and you see the presidents that have been assassinated. Most recently, JFK. It completely spun this world around real quick. They had to make some tough and quick decisions. They know the procedure. They knew what they were doing, but the nation mourned. Whether you liked him or didn't, the nation mourned. And the nation should mourn if something like that does happen. Shouldn't be unhappy that the shooter missed. Shouldn't be unhappy that that former president and probably soon to be president Donald Trump is still alive. Now you see the other people that are angry. They're angry at the people that are happy that it happened, that are unhappy that he missed. I mean, this is just a circle. It's a circle that we're all going down. You could choose to be angry, or you could choose to nod your head, say have a great day, and keep moving. You know, you need to focus. The more you argue with someone, I think it was Mark Twain that says, never argue with someone that's stupid. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. That should be all you need to see, hear, and say. Done. Thank you. Have a great day. Good luck with that. Read the labels on the bleach before you use that. Please do. So, you got all this going on. Now you had the RNC, the Republican National Convention went out. Well, great. I watched a few of the highlights. Didn't get to sit down and watch it, but I liked what a lot was said. I liked how a lot of the speakers that came together and talked. I actually enjoyed watching it a little bit. There were some good messages being sent out, and I think it's going to lead for some future good. And there was a lot of younger candidates that were speaking, so I think that's going to lead to a good future in politics, at least as good as you can. Now, as far as conspiracy theories, I laugh every time I read those. Man, I can't wait to see what's going to come out next. 20 years down the line, they're going to be like, man, this thing, he didn't shoot him. It was the other person that was a trained military sniper from 900 yards. You didn't even see him. He was just the one up there, and then they droned in a gun and dropped it on the roof. Yeah, I can actually see someone doing something like that. And they'll actually have evidence and something that they've looked up and went through. But, have fun with the conspiracy theories, because that's all they are. They're jack and just someone's opinion that they're putting to paper. But on that note, thank you very much for checking this show out. And if you have not already gone to the website, www.beaboutitpodcast.com, and checked us out, it is a work in progress. I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest on that. I'm doing it as I go, but I am doing it well, somewhat ish. Done. Go check out the website. If you're it costs nothing to subscribe, so feel free, get some information. I'm going to start posting more and more on that the more I get familiar with it. So it's going to be some fun things that I'm doing right now. I just got it all set up so you can get on there, leave me some messages if you like. And if there's a topic going on and you want to hear, or you want me to give a shout out to someone who listens to the show, happy to do so. I love my people. Y'all my weirdos. I'm the king weirdo over here. I was like, y'all my people. So please check out the website. Let us know what you like. Let me know what you don't like, and we'll go through that. But on a closing note, let me say this. In this time, I want everybody to step back, and I want you to think, what can I do tomorrow that I didn't do today to make this country better? How can I show respect to others, even if they do not show it to me? How can I respect and have a conversation with someone without losing a temper or getting angry? These are the things that will make this country move and move in the right direction. When we could talk about the issues without getting angry. When we can discuss what's going on without picking sides. Or you can pick a side. And you know what? That's your side. Good job. That's my side over there. But respect enough to where you're going to let them have it. Have a conversation, but don't get angry. You never know. They may know something you don't. You may know something they don't. So always take everybody's respect into consideration before you get angry and do it. Now, I know y'all love me and you want me to stick around and talk a little bit more, but I'm going to call it a night. It has been fun. It has been real. It has been real fun. You thought I was going to go someplace else with that, but I didn't. But as I always end every show, more so than ever, don't talk about it. Be about it. And y'all have a great one. I'll see y'all next week.